reverse string too. So this question is asking about how do we reverse a string. So the catch is we have an input string, we also have a k. We're gonna only reverse up to k characters. So for example, we have this string, and then we only reverse the first two characters because k equals to 2. And we leave out the next k characters untouched. And we start to reverse the further two characters. So it's EF and becomes FE. And finally, we leave G untouched because it's another cycle of not reversing, right? So it's like alternative of reversing K, not reversing K, etc. Right. So second example, similar thing. We're gonna reverse B and A, but then we don't reverse CD because K equals to 2, right? So for this question, it's how do I say? It's like the intuition is very simple. It's just iterating through the string for each of the character, right? Try to see whether it falls in the reverse cycle or not reverse cycle, right? If it falls at the beginning of the reverse cycle, then we're gonna reverse k characters, and then if it falls into the not reverse cycle, we're gonna just append it as normal, right? So it's marked as an easy problem, and the intuition or the algorithm is also not that hard, but like to write it correctly, it sort of needs a little bit thinking. Let's take a look at the code. So the way I choose to implement it is using string builder. So string builder we know has a reverse method, so which means that we can append the k characters in the reverse cycle and then finally reverse the string builder and then append it to an outer string builder, right? So this is the implementation details, right? So first we're gonna do it. We're gonna iterate. We're gonna have a final string builder, and we're gonna have a loop, right? So if it's less than the string length, then we keep iterating. So we're gonna get the character, and then we're gonna check for whether it is at the beginning of a reverse cycle. So what does it mean? Like it means that when we see A in this case, like reverse cycle at the beginning, this first cycle will be reverse cycle, right? So if the index of the character modulus k is equal to 0, so that means that we are at the beginning of a cycle. It could be a reverse cycle, it could be a not reverse cycle, right? So A, for example, in this case, A will be at the beginning of a cycle because k is equal to 2, and then C will be also at the beginning of a cycle. So we want to figure out at the beginning of the cycle also it is a reverse cycle. So reverse cycle meaning that I divided by k modulus 2 is equal to 0. So it's like, hey, in this case we get A, we won't get C, right? Because in that case C will be modulus to 2. When we modulus to 2 will be 1. So the second, and then we're gonna get an E as well for the reverse cycle. So after we figure out, okay, so we're at the beginning of a reverse cycle for this index, we're gonna initialize a reverse string builder, and we're gonna iterate through this at k times and append as most as k characters as possible. Like if it's greater than or equal to the string length, then we stop, right? So we're gonna append to the reverse builder, and then after we iterate through all the characters of the reverse cycle, we're gonna append the reverse string to the final string builder, right? We're gonna update the I at the end. So this is like the for loop to handle the reverse cycle, right? So otherwise, we're gonna append this character directly to the final result because it's not part of the reverse cycle at all, and we're gonna increment I. So once this is done, then we just return the final string based on the string builder, and it will give us the final result. Yeah, it is slightly more complicated when we try to implement, although the algorithms looks simpler.